Yeah, hi, my name's John Brock, or JB is what I go by. I'm the lead product manager for Oracle Jet, which is the JavaScript extension toolkit. And we're here kind of to talk about a new release that we just put out last week, which is pretty cool for us. We've been open source for about a year and a half now, somewhere around there. About 70% of Oracle's cloud, public cloud, is written using Jet, and we've open sourced it for the rest of the world and to use it as well. The newest release actually implements some pretty cool stuff. We've taken all of our UI components and moved them over to custom elements. So following Excellent. The HTML5 web component spec, which is a really cool thing for us. And here we're going to kind of talk and pass it down to a couple other guys that are showing how those components and web components and so forth are being used in the wild, as well as what other people are talking about Jet here at Open World. Java 1, Open World, Oracle Code, all those fun things that we're doing while we're here. Take it away, John.
Perfect. Hey guys, so I'm John Sim from Fishbowl Solutions. I'm an Oracle ace, and I also head up the innovation side over at Fishbowl Solutions. So today what I'm going to show you is how to create a Oracle Jet app and how to create composite components and take those composite components and deploy them not only to Visual Builder Cloud Service, but also expose it into other applications that could be sitting on SaaS, as well as maybe Content Experience Cloud on the PaaS environment.
Oh, yeah, you're not going to do that now?
Oh, I thought you were going to do your
I'll do that after.
Okay, we'll go straight into the video then. Okay, so let's just start this. Is it yeah, we good? Okay, so I've just opened up the command line. Is that plugged in all the way? Yeah? Should I start again?
Right now it's just showing your wallpaper.
Yeah, we're just showing wallpaper right now. It's a beautiful mountain range, if others. Let's see if it actually switches over again. If you can imagine... Oh,
we're getting that flickering thing again.
We're trying...
If we just exit.
It's not showing anything.
Oh, wait.
Well, we are live. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
We just proved we're live.
You're having the same issues as me on my laptop when I try and demo?
Doing something.
Oh, we can see something there, right?
Yeah.
It's locked up.
Okay, why don't we just have a conversation? Tell us what you're working on. Carry on, introduce yourself.
Maybe John can talk while I try and fix this.
We could do that too.
Sure.
Let's switch back to live. There we go. We're back to us.
Awesome.
So what is it? I understand that Fishbowl just won some kind of an award.
Yeah, we did. We won the CX Hackathon. So I think, I don't know, 50 people attended. It was at the Capgemini Innovation Center here in San Francisco. And basically, we're invited to the Capgemini offices to do a 2-day hackathon starting on Friday. We had a group of 5 developers, and Oracle basically let us loose on their cloud platform. So things like Engagement Cloud, their mobile cloud platform, and then we did a little bit of fancy stuff with Zeppelin and Big Data Cloud Service to do machine learning from. So,
did you use Jet in any of that?
We did not use Jet.
Oh.
We actually used Slack as our chat interface, so we created a bot.
Okay.
But what I want to do, and what I hope to do, is we'll expose the bot in a Jet client that you guys will see today. And then we have full control over the UI elements.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So we now have the screen up and rolling. Let's. Why don't you show us some code?
Cool. Okay. So command line. You can see I'm running Node 8.4, and I'm just going to install the Oracle Jet command line tools. So just standard npm, and this will just go through, install all the dependencies for Oracle Jet.
So in the previous version of Jet, you had to install like 2 or 3 different libraries or 4 different libraries. It's all done in one thing now, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So before you had Gulp and Geoman.
Yeah, bunch of stuff.
And now it's all in one command line.
Very cool.
And also in the past, you always had to talk about Jet being relevant for medium to advanced JavaScript developers because they had to know all these different tools.
That's right.
And now you just need to know one tool.
That's right. Yeah.
And it really brings Jet to a whole new range of developers.
Exactly. Yeah. So as part of the Oracle Jet command line, you can see here a load of tasks, and so one of the things, instead of running all of those tools, I just now have a single command line to run. So, for example, if I want to create an app, which I'm going to do here, all I need to do is go ojet, create, and then the app name. So I'm just going to call that my app for now, and then I'm also going to specify a template. And there's 5 default templates out of the box, but you can also go ahead and create your own template if you aren't within your organization, so you can reuse and create multiple projects across your organization.
If you go to oraclejet.org and you click on the Get Started button, it'll give you those exact steps. I think it's like 4 steps and you're off and running an app.
That's it. So what's happening now? We're just creating our new project. It's just downloading the dependencies, creating the folder structure. A little bit of a freeze here. There we go. Excellent. So your app's now created, and what we're going to do is just cd into the my app directory, and this is my project folder now. So this is a list of files and folder structures it's created as part of the project. So if I go into my app, you can see we've got the node modules all there. As part of that, you can see we've got Oracle Jet and the tooling subsets. And now what's interesting is, or really cool, is that we have access to the build and serve capabilities. So what we can do, if I ran Oracle Jet build, I can customize this script, and this script will run as part of the build. So if I want to move files across to a different location, or if I want to do compression, obfuscation, minification, change the required JS configuration, I can do that all straight from this script file. And then the source folder, again, that's all of your static web assets. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to serve that up. So just running Oracle Serve, and what that's going to do is it's going to set up your web server, open up the port, copy the files from your source directory to your web location, and then it's automatically going to launch a browser so that you can see the project, but then you can start developing at real time. So anytime you make changes in the source location, it's going to make that change straight across in the UI browser element. So here's your Oracle Jet project.
So the application is almost finished. It's amazing how quickly.
Finished, that's
ready
it.
to be sold to the customer.
You can see it's responsive here. So we've got responsive navigation. Again, this is all Oracle Jet that you're seeing today. Right, so now I'm going to move into how we can actually create a composite component. So a user interface element or an application based off a custom node element that you create within a DOM structure. So here you can see we've got this demo card interface. And to create a composite component, it's just made up of these 5 files. So we've got a loader, which basically loads in all of the assets associated to your composite app. We've got your view model for your events, the event bindings, and then your style for the skinning of your component. Right. So if we just go into the page, you can see here that we've got the demo card set up. And as part of that demo card, there are custom attributes. And these custom attributes allow you to bind data sets against. So if I go into the demo.js, you'll see I've got an array of objects. So we've got 2 objects there, and you can see above that we've got 2 cards that are automatically generated on the fly. If we had another object, you would have another demo card automatically generated as part of the looping. And what you can see here is the view model, and basically this is the structure of the demo card. And then we've got the view model JS, which is your events associated to the template. So for example, the flip card here, we've got your click event, and against that, basically when you click on that card, it's going to toggle the CSS. So that animation that you're seeing happening backwards and forwards is just CSS doing a transition on that DOM element.
So no JavaScript in that, just straight up CSS animations.
Yeah, all that is just CSS. So this is the loader file. So this is where I actually load in all my required composite component files, and I register it against Oracle Jet as demo card. Okay, so what we're going to do is create our first composite component. We call him FrankBot, and it's going to be a chat application integrated with Mobile Cloud Enterprise. So I'm just going to copy across some images, and these are just to help the look and feel of the composite application. I'm just going to put that in my source folder, and then I'm going to copy across FrankBot, which is our composite app, and you can see it's made up of 5 different files here: your loader, your view model, and your component properties. There we go. So we just copy in FrankBot. So now that's part of the project, but we need to tie him into a page. So what I'll do now is I'll go into the view model and we'll update the about page. So we'll go into about. We'll update the view model here, and all we need to do at this point is reference the loader.js file. And then that will import, based on the routing, as soon as you click on the about page, it loads up this about.js. And then you can see all of the items in the define blocks. It makes sure that they're already preloaded into the site. So what should happen is FrankBot and the loader script will load, and the composite component will be registered all on the fly. Now, what we also need to do is obviously supply that DOM element. So we're just going to add FrankBot to the DOM here on the about page. And then what we'll do is we'll reserve the assets. It'll create the web folder, and we should be able to see FrankBot and interact with MCS on the fly. And you'll notice here I'm not applying any attributes. There are some custom attributes which I'll come across when we show the Visual Builder Cloud service. So I'm just going to service up this application. Whilst this is all happening, I'm just going to take a look at the code and just run through some of the code elements on here. So you got the loader here. Again, that loader loads up your view, loads up your view model, loads up your component properties, and loads up your CSS, your styling, your skin file.
So that's all pretty much in line with the HTML5 web component specifications, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we've got the Oracle Jet way of registering your composite component. Now, if you take a look at the properties, you'll see that I've got custom properties that allow me to dynamically change the interface, so the view layer. So I've hard-coded some elements. You can see we've got a value there which is pointed to my WebSocket server, the FrankBot, but I can also change the chatbot's name. So at the moment, we've got him set as Frank. We've also got an image there, so you can see image is Frank, and you should see once we load up this project that props reference to that bot image will automatically be applied to the image source. So there you can see that we've got the binding there. When we go across to here, hit about, and that's our composite component. So FrankBot is ready for us to interact with. But before we interact with Frank, let's just have a look at some of the templating capabilities. So if I scroll down to the bottom, you can see we've got our template here. And what I've done is I've bounded an observable array. So anytime there's a message posted, it's added to an array item, and it automatically generates on the view interface here. And then we've got this Oracle Jet input text where I've got a value change handler as part of the eventing on that. So as you're typing, that thing is going to be triggered. So if we just scroll down, and we'll just take a quick look at the method there. And it's just a simple method where we test for the event, make sure the enter key is hit, and as soon as the user hits that enter key, it's going to take the value and it's going to post that straight through to our WebSocket server, and then that message is going to be passed across to our intelligent chatbot on the Oracle Cloud.
So that means that you've set up, before all of this, a chatbot on the Oracle Intelligent Bot Cloud service.
Yep, we've all got that running. So in Application Cloud Container, we've got our own Node.js platform with our WebSocket server. We're messaging that, and then that's messaging IBCS to process the language, and then coming back.
So what this is purely a front-end view on top of that chatbot.
Exactly, but it just makes it so much more flexible compared to Facebook, compared to Slack, compared to WeChat, because we can define our own our interface elements, so we can make it a lot more flexibility. With Facebook and Slack, you're limited to what they provide out of the box. So what we've got here is the Visual Builder Cloud Service, and I'm just going to actually import that composite component. So all I need to do there is zip up those 5 files and import them into the Visual Builder Cloud Service, and then I've got my composite component available in VBCS to reuse, and potentially when the marketplace is available, I can sell this very easily to our clients, or clients can look at a marketplace and go, I want that component, I want that widget, I want that widget, and they can then drag and drop and create their own application on the fly.
This is also because that web component concept makes possible a marketplace.
Yeah.
And also the nice thing is that each of these composite components are found within their own folder. So you can zip up that folder and share that zip file with other developers, and they can then reuse those components in their own applications.
Exactly. They have access to the source here, so they can change the source, they can reload, refresh. If you're not a developer, you have a list of properties available on the right-hand side. So you can see, for example, we've got the chatbot name as Frank, but I could change that to something else like Bob.
Yep.
So if I just do that now, you'll see when I make that change to the properties file, it'll automatically change Frank's name to Bob.
So this is an environment for so-called citizen developers, non-technical people, and you as a technical code-oriented developer can create components that can be loaded into this environment and added to the palette, so that citizen developer can use that to create applications.
Yeah, anything. Yeah. A dashboard if you want, or whatever.
Quickly dragging and dropping an application together, and back-end services and those kinds of things.
Well, and we can also take these web components or these composite components and actually mash them up. So you can have nested composite components, and you say, like the flip card you were seeing earlier, if you actually go up to the Jet website in the cookbook, you'll see that we take that flip card and we embed it into a memory game. So someone created the card with all the flipping animation, and then we actually said, well, let's take those cards and turn them into a memory game, and you can pass in an array of the different images, and we do all the matchup logic and everything else for it. Now you've got an entire game that goes in as one DOM element, and you're done. And it's pretty cool.
I think that makes it possible to create really complex views of components nested within other components, and creating complex relationships of underlying data models.
Yeah.
So I also noticed one thing, John. You're running on Jet 3.2 in this instance, and that's fine. You know, Jet 4.0 just came out last Friday or last Wednesday, actually. I believe it was. So. The 5 files that you created to create your composite and everything that you kind of wrote manually, or maybe you copied them over from the cookbook.
Yep.
Now in 4.0, just as you created that entire starting project, you just type ojet space create space component and give it a name, and we generate that entire thing for you. All 5 of those files filled in with default entries, and then you just go in and modify them. So you don't even have to set up that stuff anymore. It's going to be set up for you now in 4.0.
And that's perfect. I mean, I think I was going to actually email one of you guys and say, hey,
we read your mind. Here it is.
Perfect.
And there's actually a hands-on lab on the Oracle Jet site where anyone interested in learning how to do web components from the command line, on the command line create web components in a JavaScript-based application can learn how to do that.
Very cool. Can we switch back to everybody can stare at our smiling little faces? So, Gerhjan, you've been kind of wandering around the floor a bit, and you've been attending quite a few different sessions and so forth. What are you seeing as far as what's going on with web components, what's going on with even from the Fishbowl side. I've seen Fishbowl interacting with a couple of different other partners as well, such as like Aura Player, who are also using Jet. Yeah. What else are you seeing in the Jet space out there?
Well, not only here, but around the world. I've been to a number of different conferences, visiting a number of different customers. What people like about Jet is the data visualization components, the graphs and the charts. Free, open source. You can drag and drop them into your application in the sense of copying and pasting them from a cookbook. So there's a cookbook, all the code for all the components, for all the graphs and charts, for the samples of those are available there. You can literally copy and paste from there into your application. So the data visualization combined with the cookbook. The other thing that is really appreciated is this command line interface. It makes it so easy to set up an application and to add to that application. So, for example, I think what's very nice is you can create a web application, a Java, a desktop browser application in Jet, and then later think, well, maybe this should be nice as a hybrid application. I'd like to upload this application I've created to an app store, and not simply have a responsive application, but have an APK file, an iOS file. And you can just run the command line tool against your application and add that hybrid folder and that functionality to it. So that, and the fact that all of this is open source, and also that it's based on open source libraries. So the libraries in there are not things that Oracle has created. Oracle's merely leveraging the knowledge that is out there in the industry.
Yeah, so Jet's more of a toolkit than a framework, right?
Absolutely, and that is really maybe the most important feature of Jet, because people who adopt frameworks, which are more or less closed ecosystems, have a real problem as the JavaScript ecosystem changes. And if there's one thing that can be said about the JavaScript ecosystem is that it is innovative and constantly changing. So the most important thing you can have if you're going to go in that direction is an architecture that is flexible. And that is what Jet gives you, a flexible architecture, yet very well organized and very well structured. That combination is the most important thing to have in a JavaScript ecosystem. And you get it out of the box by running a command line tool called Jet.
Well, I think that's about it, Melissa. You were a great conversationalist. Thank you so much for leading us through all this. Sorry, guys, we just kind of took over, didn't we?
We did. That's what we do.
Anything else you'd like us to cover?
If you have any Twitter accounts you'd like to have people follow, or any blogs where slides might be posted on this session?
So blogs or Twitter accounts, guys. Twitter for Jet is at Oracle Jet. We'd love to have you come and follow us. It's where we do all of our announcements. And we're actually, so if anybody's out there listening to us that has already written an Oracle Jet app, we're doing a little Where's Waldo this week. And there's a hashtag called #WhereIsJet, hashtag #WhereIsJet. And throw that in front of a screenshot of your app and put it up on Twitter for us. So we're kind of sharing those. I'm finding them around the conference and so forth, and it's been fun.
It's been one of the most enjoyable experiences. Was yesterday I was at the Oracle Jet booth, and I was explaining to somebody all about Jet. This is Jet, this is what it does. And he said, yeah, sure, I have an application that uses Jet. And he pulled out his laptop and he showed the application, and we made a picture of it, put it on Twitter and everything. So it's getting out there. It's a new concept. It's widely used throughout Oracle, so this is a really good thing as well, that the JavaScript ecosystem is constantly changing. The libraries you choose today could be gone next month, whereas the libraries we've chosen as part of this toolkit are stable, reliable, and we are based on top of them, and we're contributing back to them as well. So this is a really solid basis for anyone doing serious enterprise work.
And yourself, John, where are you at on Twitter and Facebook and other places?
So head over to our Fishbowl site, fishbowlsolutions.com. We've got loads of information on chatbots, viewlets. Check out our blog. I often post there. My Twitter handler is jrsim_UIX. And that's
I'm at PepperTech personally, and you are?
At Geert-Jan W.
Figure out how to spell that one.
It's not that hard.
It's not that hard, no. All right, thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you. Cheers.